Hello guitar class! Today we're going to talk about the chromatic scale and the fingerboard of the guitar. So, to begin this, we need to know the definition of a half step. A half step is the smallest distance you can go in Western music. So, we need to know what that is. On the piano, you probably know. Can you define it? It's from one key to the next closest key. Some of you may have said, oh, a white key to a black key, black to white to white, it doesn't matter. It's one key to the next closest key. Now, there are notes in music, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and then it goes back to A again. So those are your white keys, or your natural notes. There are notes in between some of those, not in between all of those. So it's best to look at a piano to find out how that works. So I have a piano keyboard here. We actually just call it a keyboard. And we now need to have a name for these black keys. They don't have a name of their own. They are named by where they are in relationship to the white key. And that's when we get into terms like that which is a right, sharp. And that means 1/2 step higher. Then there's this symbol, which is a flat, which means 1/2 step lower. Then you may see that symbol upon occasion, which is a natural sign that returns us to the natural note. It cancels the sharp or flat and takes you back to the natural notes, which are, remember, that's our natural notes. Now everyone should be able to walk over to a keyboard and find our friend middle C, which is the name of the store in Tenleytown, by the way. C is to the left of two blacks. You can see that everywhere, the repeating pattern throughout the keyboard of the 2 and the 3, 2 and 3, 2 and 3. So C is always to the left of the 2. And it has a very special sound. Oh, let's increase the volume a little bit. That's the sound of what's called an octave. Oct because it's 8 white keys. That's a little flat. Now, this is where we begin to use these. So we have C. The next note is higher than C, so it's called C sharp. Then we go to D, then to D sharp, E. Now this is what's weird. The musical alphabet goes directly to F. This is a half step. So you need to memorize the fact that what I call the natural half steps occur between E and F. And some of you know the other place. What is it? B and C. So let's take a look at the keyboard. Remember, this means there is no black key in between E and F. You go directly from E straight to F. Now, legally, what does sharp mean? Higher than. What is higher than E? F. So if you wanted to be legal about it, E sharp is F. It's another name for the same thing. So here is our E, F. Then we have F sharp, G, G sharp, A sharp, B, then directly to C. You need to memorize this. The reason we like this is on the piano, the notes are color-coded. On the guitar, they all look the same. That's why we're talking about a piano keyboard. And my videographer is back there making very strange faces at me. So, now, flat. Flat means lower than. So this is C, this is B, then B flat, A flat, G flat, F directly to E flat, D, D flat, C. So there's an interesting phenomenon in music. This note is higher than C, so it's C sharp, but it's also lower than D, so it's D flat. It has nothing to do with whether you're going up or down. It has to do with rules of grammar and spelling and all this, which we're not going to go into. I just want you to know that these flats and sharps, one note, two names. Okay, so now that we have that, let's relate this to the guitar. So I hope by now everyone knows the names of the guitar strings. Evan ate dynamite, goodbye Evan, and or everybody gets drunk after elections. Okay, so this note is E. A half step higher than E would be what? This is F. And then F sharp, G, G sharp, A. And this happens to be the same A as the next string. That's why you can push down at the 5th fret and tune the guitar and I'm out of tune. So there's your A sharp, B directly to C, then C sharp, D, D sharp, E. And at the 12th fret, that's where we get back to where we started, E and E. This is one way of knowing you're right. So that is called a chromatic scale, and I'm now going to ask you to write a fingerboard chart. On the back of your packet is a blank fingerboard chart, so let's see how to do this. All right, so you have one fingerboard chart. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. How can you tell the difference between music notation and tab? How many lines have I got? 6. How many strings have I got? 6. So if you have 6 lines, it's a representation of the guitar. If you have 5 lines, it's music notation. Here is your E, A, D, G, B, E. Music ascending usually goes to the right. So what we're going to do is say that this note is an E, and then when you are at the 1st fret, it's F. The 2nd fret is F sharp. Then you have G, G sharp, A sharp, B, C, C sharp, D, D sharp, E. And that's as far as you need to go. I just did one string. You're supposed to do all strings. Okay, so let's take G. We have G, G sharp, A sharp, B directly to C. And this is one way of checking your work. When you look back, you should see E and F, and B and C are right next to each other. And here is our B and C, C sharp, D, D sharp, E, F. There's our E, F, F sharp, G. And when I correct your homework, I'm going to look for the E, F, B, C's, and I'm going to look to make sure that when you get here, you end up with our E, A, D, G, B, E. So one of them, I want you to write just the sharp names. You're going to have 3 charts on the back of the packet. One of the charts, I'd like you to write in the flat names. So if we did this scale, we would have E directly to F, and then G flat, G, A flat, A, B flat, B, C, etc. That is one of the charts, just flat names. One of the charts flat. Let me say that all over again. Hello. One of the charts will be just with the sharp names. One of the sharp flats, one of the charts will have the flat names, and one of the charts will have just the natural notes. And that's an important thing for you to be aware of. So let me go back and do that. So the chart with the natural names, you're going to go back and just find the plain notes, the white keys on the piano, if you will. Like that. So if you do all your strings, you'll begin to find the white notes or the natural notes on the guitar fingerboard. And this will be extremely useful for you as you try to find landmarks on the guitar. So there is a chromatic scale and the guitar fingerboard homework. Happy practicing!